Jimmy Buffett. And yeah, they are. Everybody comments. They're a great audience, aren't they?
Great audience.
Great
audience.
What's odd is they're the same people every day. Same exact people. We just cast the audience.
Big wardrobe backstage.
Yeah, exactly.
I noticed that.
They change constantly and dye their hair to look different and everything.
My hair's not going to bother my microphone like it did Nicole's.
No. That's very considerate of you to keep it back like that.
I was checking that while I was watching.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay.
All right. Yeah. If you want a hairnet, we have those.
I could use one.
Yeah. Now, did you have any idea, when did you write Margaritaville?
1977, I think. Yeah.
And was it an easy song to write, or was it, how did...
It was. It was one of those 6-minute wonders you hear about, but it actually happened to me. I was in Austin, Texas. It was a hot day, and I was at a bar. And I started it there because it was one of those things where the margarita, I can't even remember the name of the bar. I know the lady that took me there, but it just kind of, it tasted good, and then I had to get on a plane and fly where I lived in Florida, to Key West, and I continued the research there. And I went home and wrote it.
Wow. So you wrote it when you were basically in the state of Margaritaville.
I was, but I loved Hangover Town.
You did?
Yeah, I think that could be the sequel, you know?
Well, if you write it, I want a little tiny piece of it.
I know, I know. You know, your lawyers, they stay right there.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot that goes on out here.
Any idea that I come up with, that's an idea.
I know, it could wind up anywhere.
And how did, when I mentioned Parrot Head, how did that come up with, explain, because she didn't know, what are Parrot Heads?
Well...
They are, right there, but...
Yeah, there's...
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It started, I mean, you know this, I mean, I can't explain it. It started with costume when we were out on tour. It actually started in Ohio, of all places, and I have no kind of genetic or any kind of background connection to Ohio. I grew up down south, but they adopted us and started this thing where they just started coming to shows in Hawaiian shirts. And then they expanded on their costumes to the point where it just got ridiculous. I mean, and it's wonderful, but the only thing I can kind of compare it to is I grew up a child of Mardi Gras, you know? So it was Tuesday, and you dressed up, and you could put things on and act ridiculous. And when you go out into the rest of the world, I think that people that don't do that... People that don't do that don't understand that everybody needs to have a little time off.
I'm known for my owl, my hoo-hoo, and so my fans are called owl heads. I think I have a couple here tonight. There they are. Yeah.
I don't see that much of a difference between owl heads and parrot heads. It's a feather here, a feather there.
Yeah. They're not. Their faces they were having so much fun, weren't they?
I know are the batteries dead? What's going on?
Yeah.
Somebody crack them up.
I think they're trying to balance the owl without it falling off.
But it's just that people just have so much fun, which I do appreciate, because it is. It's kind of, you know, I started out, I played on Bourbon Street. I went to Mardi Gras every year, and when you go out into the Midwest and all, they don't have that stuff.
No.
And so I kind of still feel it on Fat Tuesday, you know. I kind of feel that twang when I go out there. And it's their kind of, we bring Mardi Gras to them. That's the only kind of explanation I have.
And Mardi Gras is something you'll never forget. I mean, being from New Orleans, it's something that is experience that if you haven't experienced it at least once in your life, you should experience Mardi Gras. It's wild.
I was the king of Mardi Gras.
Were you the king? Which parade?
Crew of Clones.
Really?
They shut the parade down at the end of my reign. It was the last parade through Bourbon Street, through the French Quarter. Yeah, it was cool.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it was.
And now, how in the world would you possibly have time with everything to write? And this is a bestseller. It's on the New York Times bestseller, A Salty Piece of Land. And look at the thickness of this. I mean,
it's big. It's big.
My book is not nearly that thick. My
well,
book
let me hold it up for you.
Yeah, no, it's. Look at. So if you're in the mood for some light reading, it's my book. If not, how would you have time to write a book?
In the morning. I've got kids too, you know, and you have to find the time. And my old dear friend Herman Woke, when I worked on a musical with him, gave me the best piece of advice, which was to write a page a day. And if you don't try to set your expectations any further than that, and if you get your page, it's good. And if you get more than that, it's really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and you do the math, you know, you're
Right.
good at math, so it adds up.
Sure,
so
that's-
30 days is 30 pages.
That's at least 25 pages.
That's true. Leap years are tough.
Yeah.
But,
Well, what you could do is you could buy Jimmy's book, and then you could buy mine as a bookmark, and then you can log on to our website to purchase a copy of Jimmy's book, A Salty Piece of Land. Everybody in the audience is getting a copy.